What resources did they have?
They have huge mineral resources in
Fine,
different
they
parts
had
of the
mineral
country.
resources that were there. You need resources
No, I mean,
to extract.
if we do that today,
If you did that, like the way it is now, that's what you have. That's what you have given yourselves. So the question you now ask is, how do we run the states that you have created? I bet you the burden will be there until you industrialize. And we don't know how long that will take. Because you already created a burden. Right now, one of the things we are suffering here that perhaps in restructuring we have not mentioned is the cost of running the federation. It's unimaginable. So if we had thought, we have not respected history. If we had thought well, we would have been, the military, because this military created all these states, we would have been more cautious in creating more states. Empower the states, make these states develop. Yes, there were agitations, but you will also convince them. That's why you are leaders, that if we create these states, how are we going to run them?
you know, Prof, when you said socialization could help, given the huge amount of ethnic groups we have, is there an example in the world where that has worked?
Smaller areas, I have to admit. Smaller areas.
But is there any guarantee that it may work in our own system? Because this is quite unique.
It depends on leadership. When we talk of leadership, the churches, the political, the traditional, and all that, I do agree that part of the problem we have is the diversity in our country. The cultures are different. This one's come from Arab Islamic culture, this Western, and then you have this melting pot that is not melting yet properly. So if you had the leadership, a rallying point, I mentioned one here, it will be easy to listen to that leader that is trusted. We haven't got them.
Prof,
yes, leadership is core.
we have agencies that have been set up by different administrations and are still there to manage this melting point.
Exactly, I understand where you are going.
So would the agencies,
Yes.
would the agencies be able to function without the leadership you're talking about, or can the agencies start something?
In fact, the agency can start something, but what is the leadership? By the way, what is the agency selling? And then you have what this agency is selling, and then what the leadership is doing by the side. I was viewing something there now about the attitude of your leaders at the National Assembly. Are these their concern? You know, so what happened, you see, it's painful, very painful. We're ignoring history. We fought a civil war. Nobody has sat down to address the social consequences of war. We have not. Part of what we're suffering here, the issue of fraud, the issue of 419, the issue of all these are all social consequences of every civil war. Every war. But nobody addressed it. The military didn't address it. They were concerned with creating states, creating establishments. You stay here, you wait for your driver license or plate number to come from Abuja and all those. But the issue of building the nation escaped them. They didn't do it. So that's why we're having this problem. If they had succeeded in this form of leadership, culturally, ethically, and they leading that, it would have been easy to follow.
Prof, what do we do now?
Good. I like that question. I was there before. Give these states autonomy. Strong one. Back them up. See what they will do.
What does autonomy mean?
Autonomy here means freedom for them to determine the way they develop, freedom to be able to mobilize resources and develop themselves, freedom to even choose or to say what type of association they want in the federation. That's autonomy. South, for me, maybe I'm here, Southwest appears to be more politically mature in handling these matters. If you give autonomy, they will develop faster, develop more. Others will borrow. It's there. Others will borrow. They did it in 1960-66. The West will follow, the East will be followed, and the North, and they did a lot. They achieved a lot. Free education started in the West, the Western region. The East borrowed it. They couldn't cope under 2 years, somehow, but they had other measures, to take care of the fact that, they were not able to take on free education. So if you do that, other states will take example of those who are succeeding, and thereby, 50 years, you'll be able to achieve something. It's not a teacup, because building a nation is not a teacup.
Okay, Bob, just give us a minute. We'll come back and take further solutions before we now wrap up on this one. But we will be back in a moment. Join us again. Welcome back. It's our concluding moments now. So, Prof, you've talked about the political solution. What about the human capital solution? Because you say give autonomy to states, but even if they get there, they need that manpower. The youths in this country, what do you see as their future?
We already was accused of painting a gloomy picture and all that. So I don't want to paint a gloomy picture.
Just say it as it is.
Yeah,
The truth is the truth.
So I think what needs to be done is still going back to the same autonomy. If you empower the states, give them sufficient resources, they'll be able to segment the care of the youths. Right now, everybody looks to federal, which shouldn't be. I hadn't grown up fully at the time, but there was a time in this country when individuals in the then Eastern region, Western region would prefer the scholarship of their regions to scholarship of federal, because those scholarships were more bountiful than that of federal. So the states then, the regions, they had enough to take care of. I know, of course, it has expanded now. So let's go back to that again. If, for instance, in the South, the states have enough resources, and of course, we hope they will be accountable, they'll be able to take care of greater majority of the youth in that area. The same goes to other states. But when you remove resources from the states and center everything at the Abuja or whatever it is, of course, the youth will be looking to go to federal. It's only federal appointment now that is feasible, that the students can look up to. Most students now, or those who have graduated, don't even know whether their states have room for employment. Everything is federal. Everything is federal. So one of the ways to take care of that is, first of all, make these states viable. Fiscal federalism. Give them the resources. The center is accumulating too much. With those resources, the states will be able to take care. That is one form. The other form, is that, you see, when you're talking of socialization, it embraces all. Try to recover the ethics, what we call national ethics, in terms of building. Right now, the youth only know of quick money. They call it yahoo yahoo. I don't know, what that means. But that's what the youth believe in. A lot of them in the universities. So how do you get them out of that mentality? It's an ethical issue. And of course, again, the leadership has to lead it. You cannot be expropriating and pillaging the nation, taking all the money, and then you ask you to make sacrifice. What they're going to learn from you is what you're giving them.
Did they talk about role models?
Role models. But what are the models that you are going to roll into? None. There are no models. Because the examples that leadership give us, I'm sorry to say, do not encourage that type of ethics that will build the nation. Every day is written. The money looted, corrupt ones, what the assembly does, what the executive does, and all those. And then the youth you are talking about hear these things, they read these things. So when you tell them something else different, they will tell you you're on your own, because they will also want to make it. Who are the role models? Those who have made quick money. So there has to be really, really national reorientation that has to be led by credible leadership. We keep talking about this leadership. It has eluded us, but that's where to go.
So it rises and falls with leadership.
That's where to go. There's no other way.
All right, Prof, that's where we're anchored today. Professor Brown Onuoha is of the Political Science Department, University of Lagos. Thank you for talking to us today.
Thank you, please.